Hi, good evening, my friends. So today we will start our live trading analysis. Today I'm expecting to cover Bitcoin and Solana. So we will see the past last 1 month analysis, how Bitcoin and Solana performed. We will understand the trends behind every curve, so it's gonna be the long video today. So I would request everyone find your comfort zone and you know just bear with me, do the analysis with me, and yeah, there you go. So without wasting your time, let's go back to our dashboard. Lovely. Perfect. So currently Bitcoin is trading at 84,955. So in between 84,905, 950 something. So as I told you, we will start our analysis from the past 1 month. So we will start with the very first of December, and we will see how Bitcoin is performing, how it performed in last 19 days and things like that. So starting with 1st of December 2025. So during this time period, it was trading at 90,000 something, right? So I would say December 1st is the first, I would say, real state change candle for the month, because you can see, uh, you know, you can see that price rejecting the lower area and pushing back into the mid range rather than continuing the straight sell, right? So technically, this reads like sell side exhaustion into a defended pocket, right? Where downside follow through fails and buyers are able to close the price away from the lows, right? So I would say the important part here is not just that it bounced, it is where it bounced, right? So that's the important factor which we need to keep in mind. So I would say the market is signaling kind of 85 to 87K as a responsive demand zone, and it is trying to rotate back towards the next liquidity magnet above, right? That's approximately near to 90K. So as a trader, you frame this day as kind of, you know, we like stopped trending down and started rotating, right? So that's the first attempt at rebuilding the structure, right? Okay, let me zoom a little bit more. Okay, so because the past, okay, when you will see at 30th November, right, you can see it was trading somewhere between 90,800, right? But during 1st of December, you can see a big red candle with a big week, right? So I would say, uh, like this is where the tone of the, I would say the tone for the month really begins to change, right? Up until here, price had been getting sold pretty aggressively, right? Because see this. So till here, the price had been getting sold pretty aggressively, right? But on these days, you can see clearly that selling starts to slow down, right? The important part is, uh, you know, The important part which we need to understand here is, you know, we just is that we bounce, but we need to understand where we bounce again, right? So let's if you will notice day two, okay. So if you will notice on the 2nd of December, the market does not give back the move from the first, and that's the key, right? If that bounce was weak, price would have instantly rolled over, right? So instead, it holds above the previous day's range and start pushing higher in a controlled manner, right? So I would say this is not like an explosive move, but it's more of a grind, and that tells you the market is trying to build value, right? Not just squeezes shorts, right? So when Bitcoin behaves like these after a huge drop, I would say it usually means that we are transitioning from straight selling into our range building phase, right? Okay, I thought if I'm not, no, visible or not. Perfect. So, you will notice the price of Bitcoin at 3rd of December. So, your Bitcoin was trading approximately at $93,241. Right. So by the third, price started, price started leaning into the upside a bit more, right? Because you can see here on the second, from 86 to jumping to 91. That was the huge difference we observed during this 2 days, like in between first and second. And but when you will notice the candle of 3rd of December, you will see that the price started leaning into the upside, right, a bit more. And this is where traders usually get so excited. But structurally, the market is still proving itself, right? So you are pushing higher, but you know you are also starting to run into areas where sellers previously stepped in, right? So the day is less about number go up and more about how price reacts as it moves higher, right? So the market is testing if there is like a real demand or if this is just like short covering. At this point, it's kind of still a test like thing. Again, not a confirmation, right? So that was the situation of 3rd of December. Now, at 4th of December 2025. So if you will notice, if you will zoom a bit more, so you will notice at 4th of December, the price was trading approximately at 93,414, right? So, this feels more like the market taking a breath, right? After a few days up, price slows down and start moving sideways, right? So this is actually healthy behavior, right? So, you know, like strong moves usually they pause before the next decision, right? So what matter here is that price is not collapsing, right? You don't need to worry more about that the price is collapsing, right? It is holding the ground, right? And you can think of these days as like a compression, right? Buyers and sellers both are waiting, right? And whenever you see that, it usually means like a larger move is coming soon, right? So this direction just has not been chosen yet, right? So whether it will move up, whether it will move down. So this is a direction which they will decide later on. But yes, they are still like they are in the decision phase, right? But usually it means the larger move is coming soon. Whatever it's gonna be, maybe there will be a huge drop in the price. Maybe there will be a huge uh, up in the price moment. So you can observe both the thing. But again, just to let you know, when both are waiting, it means a big drop is coming soon, right? As you can notice, on 5th of December, so at 4th of December, it was trading nearly approximately at 93,578. But when you will see the Bitcoin price, which was trading at 5th of December, you will see, okay, it's like 92,156. There is a whopping decrement. There is a whopping down in the price moment, right? Which I was just mentioning. Whenever you will see both buyers and sellers, they are waiting all together. There is a, like there is a larger move that's they are planning to step in, right? And as I just told you, and look at here, right? You can see the price went down, right? So that is what it is. So on December 5, it is important because price starts interacting with a more serious resistance zone, right? You can see the market is pushing into this area but not freely moving through it, right? And that tells you sellers are active here, right? As you can see here, the sellers are so active here, and this is the kind of level where the market either accepts higher prices or gets rejected back into the range, which is very obvious, right? If there is a decrement in the price, there will be two situations. There will be definitely two situations. Either people who will accept this rejection, right? Uh, correct, or the people will either reject it or people will either accept it, right? So, uh, like just market either accepts higher prices or gets just rejected back into the range. And here you start seeing hesitation, right? The hesitation is your first warning that the upside is again not guaranteed, right? So that was the case of Bitcoin at 5th of December. Now moving forward, look at the trend at 6th of December. Okay, so at 6th of December, you can see there is this um, the price of the Bitcoin was trading approximately at 89,313. Okay, okay, cool. So on the sixth, price starts chopping, right? This is like a classic range behavior, right? All the moves up get sold, moves down get bought. Whatever the moves you have up, they get sold, and moves uh, down the way they get bought, right? And this is where a lot of traders they get chopped in just because they expect continuation in this one direction. And but structurally, if you will see, the market is just telling you very clearly we are not trending, we are rotating, right? So in an environment like these, patience matters more than prediction. So do not predict, just have some patience and try to understand the next step, try to analyze the next step, try to analyze how it performed during past 1 week. So that's the key, right? That's the only key to act in situation like these. Now, moving forward on 7th of December. Okay, so Bitcoin that was trading approximately at 90,352. Cool. December 7, I would say it's, December 7 again continues that same theme, right? You are like no longer making clean higher highs and the pushes up are getting like a weaker, right? So I would say that's like a subtle, right? But it is kind of important. It tells you sellers are stepping in earlier than before, right? So, so it tells you that sellers they are stepping in earlier and then before, right? So the this bounce that looked so promising is few days ago it's is now starting to lose their energy, right? So this is where uh, your shift needs the mindset from this could reverse to this might just be a corrective move, right? So that's the thing. Let's take a 2 minutes break and then we will continue the analysis. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, so let's start with 8th of December. Lovely. So Bitcoin was trading during this time period. It was trading approximately at 90,516. Okay. So you will see on the 8th, price tightens up again, right? So it is not like doing much, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Okay, one second. Can you guys see me? Okay, you can see me, right? Okay. Okay. Currently, it is trading at 84,000, by the way. Okay. So we were at 8th of December. Okay. So this kind of, sideways, I would say, uh, you know, mm, this kind of sideways action under resistance. It is the market loading up orders, right? So everyone is watching the same levels, right? When Bitcoin decompresses like these, it usually does not stay quite for so long, right? So the only question is which side gives in first, right? So whenever you will see there's like a kind of a sideway, always expect something is loading, right? It can definitely be on your spot, or maybe it can go against what you decided. But just to let you know, just to think of, something is loading, right? So when you will see this on 8th of December, again, it was trading approximately at 90,400 something. But when you will see the charts of 9th of December, you will see there is a whopping increment. And at 9th of December, it was trading approximately at 92,594. What does this mean? There is a whopping $2,000 increment, right, in the chart, right? So, which I just mentioned. Whenever you will see there is like two of the charts, they are in the sideways, always expect a big move, not a kind of a very huge move, but again a big move you can expect, right? So at 9th of December, it was trading something somewhere between like 92,500 something, right? Okay. So on 9th of December is where things get again interesting. So price finally pushes higher and runs into the recent highs, right? So this is kind of classic liquidity move. Above those highs, you have got stops and breakout buyers, right? The market goes there, does its job, and now you watch the reaction, right? So these days again, it's not about the push itself; it is about what happens after the push, right? So can price stay up here or does it immediately start slipping back, right? So whenever like there's a huge move after a sideways, again we must have the same question. Will price staying or does it immediately start slipping back, right? So on 10th of December, the things will get a bit interesting. So people will be okay. So on 10th of December, you get your answer, right? So price can't really hold above that breakout area, right? Instead of building on it, the market starts stalling and rolling back down, right? That's a big signal. When Bitcoin breaks a level but fails to hold it, it often traps late buyers, right? So structurally, like these things turns the prior highs into resistance, and from here on, the market starts behaving heavier, right? So that's the stuff we have. But now on 10th of December, when you will notice, so you got your answer on 11th of December. You see, so it was around 92,430. It was trading around 92,400 and something, right? So December 11 feels again like a distribution, right? You are not crashing, but you are clearly not strong anymore, right? So prices spending more time below the resistance and, like less time pressing higher. And this is usually the phase where smart money is unloading into late longs while the chart still looks okay, right? And from a structure perspective, I would say this is where the bullish case starts weakening significantly, right? So that is what it is during the time period of December 11. Now on December 12, by December 12th, the downside rotation becomes more obvious, right? Because you will see that price, price, starts moving back toward the middle of the range and then below it, right? And this is the market doing what it naturally does after a failed breakout, right? It reprices lower to find demand again. And at this point, the focus shifts from upside targets to downside levels, right? So you are just watching to see if buyers defend the mid range or if we are heading back to the lows, right? Okay, all right. So now, when it comes to 13th of December, so on the 13th, sellers they stay in control, right? So the rallies are shallow and short-lived, right? And price they continues to work more lower, and this is where lower highs become clear on the chart, right? And that is important just because it shows sellers are confident enough to sell these things earlier, right? Without waiting for higher prices. So I would say momentum has clearly shifted, right? On December 14th. it gives kind of a small pause again. Okay, sorry. Perfect. On December 14, again it gives kind of a small pause, right? So price stops dropping aggressively, right? And they did try to stabilize it, but again, uh, the price stopped dropping aggressively, right? And this is where a lot of people call a bottom, right? Because but this is like a lot of people they comes in, they call it kind of a bottom, but again technically this is just the market slowing down, right? Not reversing. You cannot say it is market is reversing all the way back, but it is just kind of market slowing down a bit, right? So real roses they show strength and follow through, right? Not just it's kind of a hesitation. So these days, kind of more about observation than action. So I would, people trading that day it was more kind of observation than action, right? So yeah, but when we'll notice again at 15th of December. So you will see the price was trading approximately at again 88,000. So at 15, December 15, you get a bounce, right? But it is like a weak one. Price tries to move higher but fails to reclaim a meaningful level, right? So this is kind of a classic corrective price action, right? So these are the kinds of bounces that feel bullish emotionally, but they don't actually change the structure, right? As long as the market they keeps making lower highs, these moves are like selling opportunities, not trend changes, right? So that is what it is at 15th of December. Moving forward, when you will see at 16, there's a green candle, right? So December 16 shows that weakness again, right? Price they rolls back over and you know it heads toward the same support area and that's already been tested multiple times. So this is again important because every test of support uses up demand, right? The more often price comes back here, the higher the chance it eventually gives away, right? So that is what it was at the date of 16. Right now, during December 17, so on December 17, we are right back at the key decision zone, right? Which was around 88K, right? This is the level everyone is watching. If this holds, the market can rotate again, right? And build another range. If it does not, the next obvious area is again lower, right? And at this point, there is no need to predict. You just let price show its hand, right? And this is where disciplined traders wait again for confirmation instead of like forcing trades, right? So again, according to you, what will gonna be the next trade moving forward at 18th of December? As you can see, as I told you, if it will not hold, uh, you will see a change in the price moment. There will be you will sense a lot of kind of uh, you know price will go down if the market will decide not to hold the position, not to hold the price, right? So same thing happened at 18th of December. It went down and you can see here currently it was trading approximately again at 86, something like this. This is kind of the uh, daily analysis of Bitcoin chart. So let's take a 5 minutes break. We'll come back and then we will start our analysis. Uh, last 4 hours, right? Perfect. So we'll start with the 4 hour analysis and then we will jump in with 45 minutes analysis and then we will conclude this Bitcoin trading analysis and then we will jump into Solana. Stay tuned. Let's have a 5 minutes break. We will come back. We will restart our technical analysis. We will understand what is happening under the hood, what's the next step looking like. So just stay tuned for this. Hey Army, so let's get started and let's continue uh, analyzing the rest of the chart. So I have set the time, I have just set it a timeline as 4 hours. So we will start analyzing the candles from 17th of December, right? Okay. So 17th of December, 12 a.m., right? So when you will analyze this candle, it's a red candle, right? It's a big red candle. Okay, so we can clearly see the open price was near approximately 87.8 something, near approximately 88K, and the higher wick is, it's just tiny extension above the open, almost none you can consider. And for the low, you can see it was approximately trading at 87,000, 87.1 to 87.2, right? This is what it is. And again, when you will see the lower wick, so again, the close was below open, right? So the close was below your open. So the weak story is like almost no upper weak, which basically means buyers never got follow through, right? So the intent was sellers are learning from the open, so not panic yet. But again, supply is active here, right? So sell. It sets up next. What it sets up next? When the first red candle has a weak upper weak, right? So market often tries a small bounce, then decides, right? So when you will see the candle trading at 4 p.m. same day, right? December 17th. So you will see like the open was approximately your 87.6, right? 87.6K. Approximately, Okay, the lower week you can see here dips. The dip gets bought, right? And the high week you will see back toward 7.3K, right? And it closes near the highs, right? So the weak story here, I would say, is the lower week is equals to sellers. They tried continuation and buyers defended, right? And the intent here was buyers, they are not in a trend mode, right? They are not in a trend mode. They are kind of, in a kind of damage control, right? So do not lose the level. So basically, these kind of bounce, they often becomes a perfect sell location if broader pressure is down, right? So okay, it's kind of okay, perfect, cool, lovely. Okay, so that's what it is. Now, when you will see during the time at 8 p.m., right? So you can see a very small candle here. Again, it's a red candle, but it's kind of a small candle here, right? So the body is quite small. So it opens around 80, 86 to 7K, and there's this higher week is like small, and the lower week is like, oh, again, it's kind of. 86.2K, and the close is kind of weak here, right? So weak story again. There is a no real push above open, right? The intent here is sellers, they are winning the negotiation repeatedly, and at the same area, buyers keep trying but getting absorbed, right? Now, what it sets up next, when you see repeated failures to reclaim a level, next move is often a stop sweep below the recent lows, right? So, when you will see the candle 4, which you can see here, that's with a time period of 12 UTC, right? At 17th of December. So 12 from 12 to 16 UTC, right? So red with a big lower week, liquidity again, sweep, right? We can see this. So it opens approximately at 87.1 to 2K, right? Then the low is a swept down near, can say 86 point something, and the closes of the low still red, right? So that the long lower week is like the whole story, correct? Uh, Sellers they pushed hard but have triggered stops until the under the prior lows, right? And then the buyers they stepped in after liquidity was taken, right? So the intent here is again downside liquidity, grab plus kind of absorption, right? So the candle usually means weak hands got plus, smart bids were waiting lower, but it is not like bullish by itself. So it's a kind of cleanup candle, right? So that is what it is. Now, when you will notice the trend at 18, right? This at 8 p.m., 17th of December, 8. So you will see green body, but again, insane upper week, right? Uh, so that's basically the spot, that's kind of the stop hunt above, right? So this is the candle with the massive upper week spike, right? So it opens approximately at 86 point something. High is like the spike close to again 87K and closes much lower than the week high, right? So the price they price then high, then they fail to hold, right? And that's the classic signature of stop hunting shots. You know, stop hunting shots about the resistance, breakout chasers getting trapped, sellers they're unloading into the pump, right? And the intent here is again upside liquidity taken, the distribution. So the scandal is basically we went up to collect buy liquidity, then dumped it back because the market didn't accept those highs, right? So after these kind of week, the next candle is often a hard red, right? Reversal, which we call, right? Now, at December 18, so Perfect. So we can see at 18th of December, it's kind of the big green candle, right? So I would say it opens approximately at again 86,000. High, there is a high. You can also see there is a low and there's also a close. So the structure is kind of like a strong green body, very long upper week, close below the high, right? So the correct interpretation I would want to add here is buyers they pushed aggressively from 87.2 to upward like 89 something, right? So at the higher prices, heavy selling entered and the price was not acceptable, right? About like approximately at 88.5 to 89K, correct? And upper week, it's like buy side liquidity taken. So the meaning is this candle is not pure strand, but again, it's kind of a liquidity expansion candle, which we can consider where upside stops were run, then selling absorbed the move, right? Okay. Perfect. So at 4 p.m. UTC on 18th of December, right? So it was trading approximately at like, you can see the body opens at 86,771. You can see the week, so the higher week is approximately at 86,856. So the body closes approximately at 86,570 and the lower week is approximately 86,300, right? Uh, cool. Now, the interesting thing here, then there is like kind of a upward trend going around, right? You can see here this five different green candles we can see, but at 18th of December, when it comes to 4 p.m. UTC, you can see this. There is a whooping red big candle, right? So it opens approximately at 88,400. The high is approximately 88,500. Again, the low is 84,400 something. Yes, and it closes by 84,000, approximately 800 or 700, right? So the fact here, which I would want to consider from the week and body week facts, is like the upper week, extremely small, like buyer had no control, body very large and bearish body, right? And we can see the trend of like 4K move, and the lower week is very, very, very small. Sellers stayed in control into the close, right? So the correct interpretation of this candle would be candle they opened near approximately at 88.4K right after the green impulse, right? Buyers they filled immediately there because there's a no push above up open, right? And sellers they hit the market aggressively, right? Once 87K will probe, long liquidation plus stop losses accelerated the move, right? Then price, they flushed straight to 84.4K, right? Candle closed near the lows, meaning there is no meaningful dip. Buying during this 4 hours of window, right? And market they accepted the lower prices. The meaning is this is a kind of distribution plus liquidation candle. It confirms the prior green candle was liquidity, not continuation, right? So this candle alone, it tells us that the market rejected higher prices and repriced lower aggressively, right? So after this red candle, you can again see the next green bounce candle, right? It opens approximately at 85,000 and 85,300 something. There is a very, very, very small week, I would say, right? So again, it is like changing, right? And the body closes at somewhere between your 84,000 3 to 4K, right? The structure is kind of small to medium green body, lower width present, and close above open, right? So sellers they attempted continuation before 84.7K, right? And buyers they defended 84.4K. And this is kind of a reaction bounce, not a trend reversal, right? So this is a reaction bounce again, not trend reversal. This means selling pressure is paused here. Buyers are testing demand after the flush. So, it does not say like the trend is reversal, there's a bullish confirmation, or maybe the strength reclaim, right? So, yeah, that is what all it is. So, price ran by side, liquidity near like 89K, sellers they absorb down the market into like 84.4K, and what we are seeing now is just like a kind of post liquidation bound, not acceptance higher, right? So, that is what it is. So currently the Bitcoin is trading at 85,000. The Bitcoin is trading approximately at 85,412. So you can see the chart of the last 1 minute, how it is performing, how it is going. It's of nine. From the last 3 minutes, we can see the price is getting the price is increasing a bit, right? Here it's kind of the sideways, and from then we observe increment in the price, right? So for now today, it's quite a good trading analysis we have so far. So I am gonna stop sharing my screen. Um, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and okay, so let me just kind of perfect. All right. So I'm gonna go and stop sharing my screen now because we are done analyzing the Bitcoin chart today, right? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be sharing. Let's first take a quick walkthrough of what is happening. Let's take a quick look at the recent crypto news, and then we will start analyzing the Solana as discussed earlier in today's video. It's gonna be quite long video. It's gonna be like 2 hours or more than 2 hours video. So we will analyze we will analyze Bitcoin, we will also analyze Solana today, right? But before diving into Solana, I would say let's start with a bit of news just to keep ourselves updated, what is happening and things like that, right? So let me start sharing. Let me first open it, right? So we are at coin market cap, and as we can see, a bunch of news here posted like 10 minutes ago. So the first is create your stable coin with a Coinbase offering. Okay, you guys can create your own stable coin with a Coinbase offering. Okay. Then NYSE parent in talks to invest in crypto company MoonPay. Okay, that's the report. Then again, we have another news for NYSE owner IC in talks to invest in MoonPay at nearly $5 billion valuation. That's a whopping huge, right? FBI shuts down 70 million crypto laundering operated by Russian. Okay. Cryptocurrency turmoil, market volatility escalates, US jobless claims lower than expected. Okay. Then crypto market faces tough challenges, option expiration. I think, personally, I just, one second. One second. Let's guys take a 5 minutes of break and then we will come back. We will again start with our news first, then we will jump into Bitcoin, Bitcoin's turn, right? So we will jump into our Solana analysis and then we will wrap up our session. So we will first, after coming from this break, we will first start with the news and then we will jump to Solana analysis. So let's take a 5 minutes of break. Lovely. Perfect. So let's start. Let's first start with the recent news. Let's start checking few of the news, and then we will start with Solana analysis. Right. Let me share my screen. So I think personally I like X a lot. Just to you know. Okay. Unfortunately, my screen. I was not sharing my screen right. Lovely. I think you guys can see my screen now. Yeah. Perfect. What is trending? But trending is something which we don't need to, like spend our time. So I am gonna go to news. Okay. So United States of Trump. Okay. What is trending here? Well, that what's the next? The Trump Washington Memorial, the Trump Lincoln Memorial, the Trump Tacky Gold House. Okay, there is no proper news. Good news. Michael Shannon, Donald Trump, he's an idiot. He's a total idiot. He's not my president. I will never call him the president of the United States. What's the response to him? Okay, is that? Dude, okay. So latest something. Some good news here. Mm-hmm. I think there is nothing something which is very exciting. What else? Barack Obama, Trump's 1776 star. What is this? Housing fund started for optics. Okay. Lovely. So I think that's pretty much it for today's news. I think that's a good way again to warm up, right? So let me stop sharing my screen and let me start sharing my trading view, right? What's the dashboard which we need to look at right now? I think it's not shared yet. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let me go to asset selector. Let me type Solana. Perfect. So we don't need to look for the 1 minutes because for Solana we haven't analyzed the trend from the last 6 months, right? So okay, that's the future of Solana. Lovely. So currently it is at trading approximately at 119 to 120 dollars. So we will start from analyzing the, you know, okay. Let's start from March. Okay, let's start from January. Why not to start with the January? So as you can see at January, the opening price was at 229. Okay, there is a huge decrement, you know. So the body opening price, it was trading approximately at 229, and if you can see the higher week, it is approximately at $272. The closing is approximately 195, and the lower week is trading approximately at 170, right? So as you can see, the start of this year 2025, that's the 1st January, the candle is a big green candle. It was trading like approximately at like 200 or 20, right? So that was the okay. I'm so sorry. Add to stage. I just realized I was not sharing my screen. Apologize for any inconvenience. So, perfect. So I was talking about January 1st. The candle was green, right? It was a big green candle. So that's the you know mm, good start of the year, right? Perfect. So at February, I can see there is a red candle again, right? So the opening of this body was approximately at 235, and the closing of this candle is approximately at 192, right? Then there is the higher week, which was approximately at 245. The slower week, it was approximately at 172, kinda, right? Perfect. Fab. As you can see it, Fab. Oh God, there's this, you know, I would say the month open, like the buyers, they start in control, right? Opens at a good price and very close to the high of the price structure. So basically, this tells us that buyers are coming into the month confident, right? Not defensive. So kind of there is no gap down, there is no panic at the open, price is accepted at the elevated levels, right? So early in the morning, buyers they try to continue that strength, right? The upper week, as you can see, buyers fail almost immediately, right? So price pushes slightly higher to this, slightly higher to like 260, which becomes the monthly high. This is critical. The fact that the high is only marginally, it's the marginally above the open tells you buyers tried to push, right? But sellers were already waiting there. Sellers didn't allow the price to explore high territory, right? And that rejection basically creates the upper weight. The intent is basically buyers, they attempted continuation, sellers immediately absorbed the demand, right? And this was the first sign that upside acceptance failed, right? And this is not profit taking, this is active selling near high side. So when you will observe mid of the month, right? So after failing to hold, right, price starts again rotating a bit lower, and this is where all the control shifts, right? So sellers they begin like pressing price down, and buyers who entered late in the prior trend they start exiting, right? So once the price loses its momentum, selling accelerates, right? And this is like not a straight cash, it is a controlled sell off, right? Where every bounce is sold and buyers they fail to reclaim the levels, right? That is what it is. And when you will see the lower week, so that it's a kind of sellers kind of over overextend, right? So as selling continues, price they reaches like you can see the price reaches approximately at $120, which becomes the monthly low. I would say the monthly low was approximately at 95 monthly low. It was like approximately like this, right? So this is where things change again. So at these levels, sellers they finally start to lose the momentum, right? So you can see this clearly because price does not close near the low, right? So so that's what it is during the month of January, right? Now let's go back to February. What you will observe during the week of February, right? At March, you will again see. So till March, there's a whooping red big candle, which you can see here, right? So, like this is the kind of trend I would say. So, like from April, May, then June, July, August, September, like there's uptrend moving forward, right? So, you know, basically. Wouldn't say. Let's analyze it, right? Firstly, can you guys lovely. You guys can see us, right? Perfect. So lovely. Cool. Okay. So let's start. Okay. From the month of March, right? That's the third month. Okay. So, if you will observe this candle, there is a red big candle, right? So buyers, they responded so strongly after the previous pullback, right? So there is a clean kind of reclaim of prior's month close, right? Close near highs, right? And like they are kind of confident. So the market intent was kind of to continue the trend of continue the pullback, right? And pullback was corrective. It was not kind of a bearish, right? So the impact they had, it's a kind of confirmed the market is comfortable trading above like 150, right? And again, higher low structure intact, right? When you will open the April April candle, you will see it's kind of a green big candle with a lower, with a high lower wick, right? So you will see that sellers, they overwhelmed buyers decisively, right? And lower wick shows some buying, but again, body they dominates, right? So they close near lows, and sellers they are in control, right? So the market intent, if to analyze here, I would want to add is that it's kind of the aggressive distribution and big players they exited into strength from prior months, right? The impact we had here, it was kind of like break in to break the bullish structure, right? Because this month becomes a key bearish reference, right? You can see from 229. So during the month end of March, the price was trading approximately 124 to 5, right? So April was a month which becomes kind of a key bearish reference, right? Now, from we can see this expansion, kind of the expansion phase, right? So as we will see for the month of mm, May, right? Again, we can see a green candle. So what happened here is, you know, kind of the explosive demand. Sellers, they completely absorbed, and there's no hesitation all the month, right? The market intent is kind of FOMO driven expansion, I would say, right? The momentum traders are, the momentum traders fully engaged with, right? I would say the impact here is market enters parabolic behavior, right? And risk increases dramatically after these type of candle. Okay, so that's the chart depicts about the month of the chart tells about the story of the month of May. Now the month of June is kind of, buyers, they try to push higher but they failed, right? And sellers, they rejected the highs hardly, right? And they closed much lower. Profit taking was dominated here, right? The market intent is very exhaustion, right? Smart money selling into the public buying, right? And what the impact here we have is marks a local top, and I would say it's just like a kind of first major warning candle, right? Then for the month of July, right? I would say there is extreme volatility. Both sides are active. Buyers, they managed to close higher, but they kind of bit struggle, right? So the market intent was kind of a indecision at the high prices. Distribution masked as strength, right? And when you will come to month eight, so like sellers, they finally gain again. Month eight, it was like sellers, they finally gained the full control, right? Lower lows they established, and there's no meaningful buyer defense, right? And here, if you will see the market intent, you will notice that you know uh, trend reversal, it was like confirmed, and momentum, they kind of momentum flips bearish, right? So that is the candle. It tells the story about the monthly, right? And the impact we had here, that during that time it was like previous highs. Now they supply like the previous highs now also supply zones, and market shifts into like a corrective phase, right? So that's the overall candle tells a story. Now, when it comes to the month nine, I would say it's kind of the correction and structure testing phase, right? So, what happened here is volatility, they compressed, right? Selling pressure, it was very slow. Buyers were testing, but they were not committing anything, right? And if we had to talk, what was the intent of the market during that time? So it's kind of the stabilization, I would say, and market looking for balance, right? So that's the intent. And if we have to talk about the impact, so impact, it was like it creates intermediate base, right? It is important for all the next directional move, right? That's what it is. Now, when we have to saw the month, that month 10, that's this. So it's kind of, buyers, they step in at discounts, right? We can see this. I would say, you know, lovely. Okay. Lovely. Okay. Perfect. So how though during this mm, during this month, okay. So buyers they all step in at a very discount price. It looks like this. There's this red candle. Again, the higher wick is high, lower wick is again it's kind of large, right? Body is also large. So it opens at 209. It closes at $188. The higher week was approximately trading at 237 and the lower week was approximately trading at 173. By the way, currently the Bitcoin is trading approximately, sorry, the Solana is trading approximately at $119.64, right? So let's go back to these October's month calendar, right? So I can say the higher the close was, the higher close relative to the previous month, right? The intent was again like a relief rally and short covering plus, kind of the selective accumulation, right? So buyers they regain the confidence and yeah. When you will observe the candle of the November, right? It's like a big right candle, right? With a big body, lower upper week, and it's kind of the higher lower week, right? So when you will notice the November's candle, you will see buyers they regain confidence, right? Clean, push higher, close near highs, right? The closes near the highs, and they attempt trend resumption and all the bulls testing control again. So it was the impact we had was all the eyes on higher time frame resistance, and there's like a critical decision zone, right? And the current one, if you will see, so you will notice that buyers they failed to hold the higher prices, right? And sellers they defended aggressively, right? And the close it was like near lows, bearish dominance, right? The market intent is kind of rejection of the higher prices at the month of December. Market is not ready for continuation. It looks like it is not ready for continuation, right? So overall the big picture I would say if I had to say the conclusion I would say like 120 to 130 is the most important zone of this chart, right? If you will notice, because every major cycle buyers defend here, sellers attack after rallies, right? So the strong expansion are followed by equally strong distributions, right? So this is like a high volatility asset driven by our sentiment waves, not like a smooth trends, right? So that is what it is. Now let's let me like let me set it to 40. Let me set it to 4 hours, right? All right. So I have set it a timeline as 4 hours. So now we will analyze how Solana, we will analyze the Solana's price action for every past 4 hours, right? So let's start with, as you can see, so it was the price of the Solana at 17:06 a.m. in the morning, right? So you can see like a small medium body, right? Small red medium body, right? So it opens approximately at 127.5 something, right? And the high was very close to the open, right? Low, it was approximately around at 126, but it closes near 126.5 something, right? So at 6 a.m. on the 17th, you can see the price opens around 127 to 128 area, right? Now notice something very important here, okay? Price does not try to move higher first, right? There is no strong upper weak, right? As you can see here. So that immediately tells us buyers, they are not confident at these levels, right? And the close happens below the open near the kind of middle to lower part of the candle, right? This is not a panic selling, I would say. It's kind of controlled selling, right? So the market intention is quite clear here. Sellers, they are testing the demand, right? And because buyers, they are not passive, they are not aggressive. This is kind of the sign of weakness, not a breakdown yet. Right, so this is what this candle is depicting in a way. Now there is this another candle you can see it was trading approximately at 10 a.m. right? So it's the green candle. Its range is kind of medium bullish candle, you can say, okay? So the structure, it opens near at 120 6, right? The low was 126 point, slight dip below the open, right? Slight dip below the open, and the high you can see it's like pushes toward 129, right? And it closes near 128 to 129, right? So the you can see here that this candle is interesting, right? After this red candle, buyers finally they respond, right? They push price up almost $2 to $3. But here's the key thing which we need to understand. This move happens after the weakness, not after strength, right? So, this is not a trend continuation buying, right? So this is a dip buyers and short-term traders stepping in, right? Expecting kind of a bonus from the 126 area. So the important nuance which we need to understand here, buyers, they show reaction, but they were not dominated, right? Hand bonus, they exist, but it's like also, the structure is still fragile, right? So we can clearly say that this candle alone does not flip the trend. As I just say, it cannot alone flip the trend. We can see the another big red candle which opens at 129 and closes at 123. High, we can see very small upper wick, right? And low, you can see drops hard toward 122 kinder, right? So this is a kind of like this is where the market shows its real hand, right? Price opens high, right where the previous green candle closed, right? Buyers, they expect continuation, but instead of moving higher, price immediately starts dropping, right? And there is almost no upper week, which means buyer never had control, right? Sellers take over completely and push price down nearly $6 in one candle. What the candle confirms? So the previous green candle was a trap, right? Supply is heavy above 128 to 129. So I would say smart money is selling into the strength. So this is kind of again a distribution, but not volatility, I would say. Right. Now you will see the candle, uh, it was trading at 6 p.m., right? So here the candle type, you can say it's like the small red, right? It opens around 123, right? High, if I have to talk about, so like a weak bounce toward 124, you can see like this. The closes near 121, 2, something like this, right? Okay. And the low is slightly lower than the open. So the insight I can put here is after such a strong sell candle, what do we usually expect, right? Either a strong bounce or maybe a consolidation, right? So here we get neither, right? This candle is small, red and lazy. They tell us sellers are now comfortable and they don't need to rush anymore for the time being, right? So the market psychology says that shorts holding position, right? Buyers they hesitant after the dump, and here is no urgency on either side, right? So that is what this they talk about. Now, when you will notice the candle at 10 p.m., right? So the market opens at 122 something, right? The low is holds above 122.5, something like this, and it closes near 100 23 point something, right? So this green candle is again not a strength, I would say, right? This is kind of a relief, right? So some short books profit or some dip buyers they step in, right? But notice the size. Notice the lack of follow through. That's important, which you need to understand here, right? So the strong market again, they bounce back, they bounce hard, and weak markets they bounce shortly, right? So this is kind of a pause, not a reversal, right? So that is all what it is. Now the candlesticks which you will notice here is that which is a 18th, right? 18th at, you can see here. Perfect. You can see here this one. This is again the small and a kind of a red medium, right? So it opens at 124 something, right near to 124. High is like very limited, low is approximately 122.5 something, right? And it closes near 122 point something, right? So this candle tells us the bounce has already failed, right? Buyers they tried, sellers said no again, right? Every attempt to move higher is getting sold faster. So this confirms lower high behavior, right? Now we have this next candle. It's 6 a.m. UTC in the morning, 6 a.m. So it's like the green, the candle type is green, the range is medium, right? So the structure is it opens at 122 point something, around 23, you can say, and closes at 123 points something 69, right? So this is the last optimistic candle for buyers, right? People start thinking maybe like this 123 was the bottom, right? But structure wise price is still below major resistance, right? So nothing important has been reclaimed yet, right? So that's the thing which we need to uh, keep in mind. Now we have the another candle here at 10 a.m. in the morning UTC, right? So this is like a candle type is like strong green. It opens at uh, approximately 123 and it closes at 126 something, right? So this candle gives hope again. This is where late longs enter, right? But remember, this move is happening inside a bearish structure, right? So strong candles inside weak structures are again dangerous, right? So that's the thing we need to keep in mind, right? Because this move is happening. You can see it's happening inside the bearish structure, right? So always remember that there's any strong candles inside a weak structure. So like it's kind of a market is a bit shaky, no? That is it. So when you will see this the next candle at 2 p.m. UTC. So the candle type is again large red reversal, right? Market opens at approximately 126.5 something, closes at 123 something. So this is again very important because this candle completely destroys the bullish narrative, right? Anyone who bought the last two green candles is now underwater, right? This is where fear replaces hope. So this is a confirmation of seller control, right? Now, then we have another candle at 6 p.m. UTC. It opens at 100. It opens at 122.96. Again, the type is red, right? It closes at 120 something, right? So 120 is not just a number, it's like a psychological level you can think about. So once price breaks and closes below it, sentiments shift quickly, right? So that's all what it is. So if you will notice at a candle at like this 10 p.m. UTC, so you can see that there is a small red indecision, right? So the structures opens at approximately 119.7 to 8 something. The it closes approximately 119.3, right? So the conclusion I would want to add here is this is acceptance below 120, right? So not a bounce, not a rejection or nothing. So like just the market deciding it is okay to trade lower. It's like just the market is deciding it's okay to trading lower, right? So the final conclusion I would want to add here is from 17:06 a.m. till now, every bounce has been sold. Every high has been lower. And buyers, they have failed to hold ground, right? So this is not a market that basically rewards impatience. This is a market that punishes hope, right? So I would want to conclude this. So until price proves strength, weakness remains default, right? So that's what the trading analysis of Solana looks like. Tomorrow we will jump back to Solana again. We will understand how it is behaving, how it is working, how the Solana trend is, what it is depicting, what the story is telling about. So everything in and out about Solana. Right now it is trading approximately at like this 119.54 something. So let's come back tomorrow and let's see at what price they are trading, at what price Solana is trading, at what price Bitcoin is trading. So that's all for today, I guess. So it was like a lovely catching with you all guys to do the analysis of Bitcoin and Solana. Tomorrow we will be doing this, and if possible, we will try to add some more different tokens. So that's it for today. Stay tuned for more such informative trading analysis.